slides.
Mr. Choo, if you would please start with your introduction.
Yes, my name is Choo, and I make dolls. So up until now, I really didn't know how I would introduce myself, because up until now I've just been like introducing Japanese culture, and there's not really a name, a word for that. Some people call me an evangelist or whatever, but now I can finally give myself a proper title. I make dolls. Okay.
All right, so press conference will now officially begin. We'll be beginning with questions.
All right, let's go with the shine.
You recently set those things out for sale. What do the sales numbers look like for those?
Sales numbers look like, so we've sold about 2,000 units so far of the manual version.
About $600 US, as I recall?
580 units.
Yeah. Too bad.
What inspired you to do this?
So, dolls. I discovered dolls back in 2008. A company called Robotics in Japan. They had a line of dolls called the Dolphy Dream. And I thought they were like really cute. I saw them at, I think I saw them at the Wonder Festival first. And then I saw the price tag, oh no, and then I just kind of like tried to erase my mind because I didn't think my wife would buy such an expensive doll. So I just asked anyway, and yeah, she said no. So, so I had to like figure out another way of getting it. So I got my advertisers to get the money instead. So instead of like paying me like for an advertising spot, I would say, okay, you give me this doll, and then you don't need to pay advertising for the next whatever. So it was okay because it was kind of like it's kind of like a loophole. So I managed to like get rid of them. Then I started writing about them and introducing them to like the rest of the world, and then I noticed a large amount of people around the world, they were also getting them as well. And I was able to like connect with lots of my folks around the world. And so I see dolls as a social media. So people see Twitter, Facebook, these online services as social media, but I see these dolls as a social media as well. So I've been living in my neighborhood in Japan for 10 years in that neighborhood, and there's this guy across the road, and I never spoke to him at all. It's not that I didn't like him or he didn't like me. It's just there's like no means of us to like just like say hello to each other. And I was just walking out to lunch one day, as I do, carrying Mirai, and he says, "Oh, what's this? This is like really cute." And since then, we've been like talking. And, so I see this as a very powerful social media. And so the smart in the smart doll comes from, so SM is social media. And the ART is art. So I see them as pieces of artwork as well. And I think humans, I wouldn't say like all humans, I think a lot of humans were born to like mix stuff. Like the cavemen, if you have a look at their caves, they've got like lots of pictures of like stuff, like bulls and guys with spears and stuff. And they've been like very creative in like making stuff. So I think when I have like my little quiet moments of time in the corner, I think I try to think why am I on this planet? I think one of the things which I really enjoy doing is making stuff. So I've always like making stuff since I was a kid, and I think that it's what gets me up every morning. It's the thought of being able to like go to work and continue to like work on all the different things which gather together to like to create this this doll over here. So so yeah, so I really like creating stuff. And I forgot what your question was. What was your question again?
Your inspiration.
Oh yeah. So yeah, so those dolls and the fact that they really bring lots of people together, and I think they look aesthetically pleasing. I think they look great, and I've always wanted to have a doll of my own mascot character as well. So it's just like a combination of all those things.
Mike.
Okay.
I have a follow-up question on this. Thank you. What is the future?
The future.
Now you've made an impact. What is the future?
So I think this is still the beginning. So to tell you the truth, I don't think, up until these dolls were released, I didn't really think I achieved too much in life. I think that I've written about like Japan and like make TV shows and stuff, and like connected to like lots of folks around the world. But ultimately, to me, all that was like a series of like ones and zeros. Like it's all data, and if there was like a magnetic pulse from the sun, then all of that would be wiped out together with all my work. And but now I have something physical, so that when the apocalypse comes, then the apes they can dig up my dolls, basically. So I really wanted to like make something physical that can be like appreciated as something that can be stuck in a museum or art gallery. And so from I think it's September, Samira, she's going to be displayed in one of Malaysia's top art galleries in Kuala Lumpur. So so that's what I see her as, like a piece of art. And I didn't really answer your question. So yeah, to carry on from that, so the future is, okay, I'm going to tell you. Stop telling you. Samira is going to be the new Barbie. She's going to be the new Barbie. And I set out to make something bigger than Barbie. And she really is bigger than Barbie. Because Barbie's this tall. So she's already bigger than Barbie. And I think that Barbie does have her market. And I think Mira is, I am aiming for a large market, but she is still expensive right now because my costs are like really high. It's all handmade and developed in Japan right now. And but as I seek to seek various production methods, then I think I can lower my costs. So all of this is, so inside there's a frame that's injection molded, and then this shell on the outside, this is like a soft vinyl shell, so if you like squeeze it a little bit, she's kind of like soft. And so that's done using slush casting. So it's a very manual process. You've got this mold, you pour in some vinyl, you like stick it on the centrifugal unit, then you have to like heat it up, pour out vinyl, and then it's a very manual process. So I want to make the shell injection molded. So that will enable us to like create thousands a day, and that hasn't been done before by any manufacturer of this size. And so I want to be the first to do that. And if I can do that, then I can lower my costs, and then I can pass on those savings to my consumers, basically. So that's for the doll market, and then there's the robotics as well. So the future is to have Mirai replace computers and phones in the future. So phones, they've gotten slimmer, like bigger screens, touch screens, like waterproof, or they've got curved screens, but they haven't really evolved further than that. But this is not only a computer, but a telecommunications device as well. So the initial models you will control with your phones, but then afterwards she will be your phone. So that's my vision of the future.
What are the Mirai doll's current features, and what upgrades are you thinking about implementing?
The current ones or the ones who are the robotic ones?
The features that make her interactive.
Oh, so the robotic ones are not due out until December, and we're still like working on the robotics part. But because she's a computer, then we can pretty much do anything because she has like a CPU and so on. So we plan to like have like an infrared sensor that'll be like built-in camera, so she can like if you like can move your hand like this, then she like follow your hand movements. When you go to work, when you come home, then she'll greet you. So there's actually no need to interact with humans. No. So, but I think there's lots of lonely folks out there, and they don't need to be lonely. And so Mirai will keep them. Okay.
So pure sci-fi. Are we looking at like eventual true AI here, or?
Yeah. So we do plan on building in artificial intelligence. That may not come with the first model, but as we develop the models, I think the first one is going to be like the first iPhone, and then we'll like work towards like an iPhone 6 or something. But yeah, and technology, as technology advances, then those technologies will be built into.
So you kind of see this as an evolving development process through the years.
Yes, it's definitely. I think it would be a mistake to try to like have her do everything right from the first model. I think that I haven't like read lots of books about like Apple or whatever, but I think that when they released the iPod, it was originally supposed to be a phone, but the technology wasn't there. And so they released the iPhone, the iPod, and as they were developing that, they were like developing lots of other phones or mobile devices in parallel. And then as the technology was right, they just stuck it in, and then they kind of like released it, I guess. I'm just guessing. So that's what we will be doing. So we're actually developing a few different models right now, and they all have like different types of robotics inside of them, using lots of different types of technologies. And as we do that, we kind of like learn what's good, what's bad, and so on. Instead of like just trying to develop like one robot. So definitely a developing process.
And will they all be the feature of Mirai, or will they all kind of have different looks to maybe customize to people who look to this as their companion, or even as something that they would like to have in their home as an art piece?
Yeah. So the body is a shell right now, and this one has like a skeleton frame inside. But the robotics version fits, everything fits inside here. So the appearance is exactly the same. So the robotics version, it may have like a wire, a visible wire around the elbow, but everything is pretty much exactly the same. And so with this model over here, you can really customize her hairstyle, her eye color, her makeup, and so on. And just by customizing those few features, you get like a totally different look and feel. So there is another model called a Kizuna, and that uses exactly the same head mold as Mirai. It's just like a different makeup, different face mask, and she looks completely different. She's got blue eyes, got blonde hair, and so yeah. To answer your question, you will be able to customize. And it's not just like white skin as well. I mean, you can have like black skin, you can have like brown skin. So we can like do anything. It's just like changing the vinyl color.
Kind of as a follow-on to that, are you looking to license it out to other properties, say, I don't know, Rose and Maiden, Chobits, anything like that?
Yeah, so I did think about anime licensing at the beginning. I've always believed in Mirai, but I never really realized how much she would sell until we started to sell them. And I realized that Mirai sells even without an anime behind her. She's got a story, but I hadn't published it yet. And we used to do like web development. I mean, I still do web development. But when you do web development for other companies, it's ultimately you're doing stuff for. Even though I was doing it as part of our business, I was like doing it for like other folks. So it didn't really change too much from when I was actually working at Microsoft or Amazon. I was still like working for other people. So even though I had my own clients, I was still like working for other people. And I wanted to like get out of that business. So we're like slowly moving out of like, the web development business. Now, to answer your question about anime licensing, I have been approached by lots of folks. I did like a hint on my Twitter the other day, but somebody from Universal contacted me because they're interested in the male version of the smartphone. And I just want to focus on my own characters first and see whether it is like worth doing stuff for like other companies, like licensed models, and Marvel or whatever. So initially, I'm going to be concentrating on my line first, and then maybe we'll license out the technology afterwards.
Or Danny, any topics that you'd like to touch?
Topics. I don't know. I'm like really jet lagged, so I don't know. Just ask
Or
me.
anything you'd like to talk about to see if we can get some questions going on?
How many of you would like have a dog at home? Would you have a dog?
Have them, or
Would you own one, a dog?
I have several.
So I think now, up to now, it's not been normal to see like a guy walk around with a dog. It may get like strange looks. But I didn't want to change that, and I think that as especially the computing functionality comes along. It's going to be, maybe today it's like creepy to see someone like walking around with a dog, but in the future it's going to be like really cool to see someone walking around with one of these devices. And I think it look great. I think they look better than like some Xperia. Let's compare them. Right? They're very different. I mean, I could put a jacket on this, so it'd be like dressing it up, I guess. But I think like dressing her up is like much more interesting.
Seems to be this is like the first step for people to be walking around with like full-sized androids. Is that kind of an idea?
Yeah, so the full-size androids is, I mean, people do ask me about that, but it's pretty easy to make them because there are motors which are really huge, which can like move like huge limbs and so on. But up until now, there hasn't been any need to put like small servo motors into a body this size. Now, in Japan, most of the robots for consumers are battle robots. So like robots, they battle in the arena and they try to like knock each other over. Most of them are from the same manufacturers. They use the same motors, and the reason why it becomes interesting is the programming that the team member does for their robot. And again, the motors have been like really thick, so there hasn't been any need to like make motors of this size. So for me, I made it a need. I really just had to have it moving, and so we developed motors small enough to like fit inside. And so to answer your question, I don't really have any interest in like making like life-size human androids. I think sizes like this doll size in here is like much more appealing. And I think they're much more cute as well. And if I had to like carry an android over from Japan, I have to like pay the extra seats, and I'll have to like check it in, and it'll come back in pieces. But something like this, I can just stick in my lap, and it's I think they're much more portable. They're really popular in China, really popular. I mean, all our stuff is made in Japan, but they seem to be like really popular over there. So far we've had customers from like all over the world: Finland, Netherlands, Canada, Thai, Philippines, Indonesia, the US, pretty much everywhere. I noticed in China they had this one-child policy to try to control the population. And Chinese folks, they kind of like to have sons. And so if they had like a girl, they would have to have an abortion or whatever, and they like just need to have sons. So now that, I don't know what the numbers, but there's like going to be like 40 million men without, there's like not enough women to go around. So This is where Mirai comes in to like keep them company, and so she's just gonna keep us. Okay.
Yeah, so you said you wanted to change like dolls' perceptions, right? And that's really cool. We met each other in Korea about, I think, 8-9 months ago. And yeah, right. So Korea, as you pretty much know, is very, what's the word, like image conscious. So what kind of strategies would you take to like to change like dolls' perceptions? Not just in Korea, but like in the States.
I think the key thing here is not to change perceptions of people who dislike dolls.
Sure.
It's to change perception of people who like dolls, and to encourage them to not to hide what they like. And I think it goes. It's the same for like anime. Right. So I have like lots of American readers who they get bullied at school for like liking anime, and they get frowned upon. And I think that sharing a passion for something enables you to like connect with others, especially when you do that online, like through Twitter or Facebook. And I think that's where the key is not to give in to peer pressure or to other people who like think that you're strange or like frown upon you. So it's not to change people's perception of. It's not to change the perception of people who don't care. It's to change the perception of people who do care about what they really love.
So it's just about changing the social stigma.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I walk around freely with like Mirai on my shoulder. I do like get some like odd looks or like some giggles, but that's absolutely fine by me. I don't expect everyone to like dolls, but as long as I can, I know that it's very important for me to continue to share and to love what I do, and through that I get to like connect with like lots of people. So I think that's what the key is.
Noticed you had 2 of your characters up there, but there were like 2 or 3 more. I was curious what was the release dates or what was the release time frame of those?
So the main 2 characters is Mirai and Kizuna, and Kizuna is the blondie. So she is going to be out October, November, I think. So we're working with face masks right now. So they're all hand painted, but we use face masks. So this face mask is an electroplated. It's like a brass mask with like holes in it, and you stick it on the face and you spray. And then you will get either the cheeks or the eyelash or whatever. And then we have like 9 separate face masks. So that's being made right now. By the time I get back to Japan, that should be ready. And once that's ready, then I need to work on the wigs. The wigs can take around 2 months. And then in parallel, I'll work on the clothing items as well. So, maybe October-ish, I guess. And then the guy version, I want to have the molds ready within a couple of months because all the 3D work is already done. But we do have like a few characters, and we will be concentrating on those characters first.
Kind of as a follow-up, you were talking about using injection molding and stuff like that. What other processes have you been looking into? Have you looked into like 3D printing and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we use 3D printing for all our production, and it's really essential. So with all molding processes, whether it's injection molding or like slush casting, there's a lot of shrinkage involved. So if I 3D printed all the parts out at this size, by the time I make the mold, there will be like a certain percentage of the shrinkage. So the final product would actually be maybe 6% smaller or 3% smaller. And it really depends on the type of material, the softness or the hardness of the material, and the type of molding as well. So there's all those things to take into account, which is why 3D printers really help us, because we can print something out to see the right size, and then just select it in the 3D software and just reduce it by like 3% or whatever, and then print it out again. So that helps us a lot, and I think that really helped us produce this product within a year and a half. So I think lots of people are surprised that we decided to like make our own dolls. Lots of manufacturers in Japan, like Yamato or Amazon, they go down the route of like using bodies from manufactured Robotics. But if I went down that route, then I wouldn't have been able to like have my vision of what a door should like look and feel like reflected in the product like this, basically.
You mentioned them being as mostly like your iPhone and stuff like that. Have you thought of other purposes, like like little robotic men going into like reactors and stuff like that and checking things?
I haven't actually thought that far. I thought about them more being as a household appliance, so more around the house rather than military uses or whatever. So I wouldn't fancy sending her into a reactor and then coming out with like half of her skin melted off. Yeah, that wouldn't be like too nice. So. But I'm sure that I'll get contacted by whoever when the time comes. Yes, I don't know. So I think once the AI comes in place and they can like run around on their own, then I guess there could be like groups of people who would think they are problematic. I think there's like an issue right now. I saw like on the internet recently about who takes responsibility when a robot kills somebody. Right? So it's okay. I'm going to stick something inside of them, and if they do anything like naughty, I'll just press a button. I promise.
You're saying you're looking at this as kind of like household appliance.
Yeah.
Will the functionality be easy for, let's say, if it's a family, for children to use as well, or?
I think we'll most probably do the iPhone route, which is kind of like how many iPhone users are here? Okay. Oh, okay. And the rest are Android, right? I mean, I may go back to iOS. I used to use iOS for quite a bit. So, I mean, I switched to Android for like a few reasons, because apps couldn't access data from other apps. But now with iOS 8, they've made that possible. So I may go back to iOS 8. But I see iOS as being kind of like I don't know if it's the right word. It's kind of like a dumbed down experience, which is much more easier to use for the masses. And Android is very customizable, but it is a bit fiddly sometimes to use. So, like, if I was going to recommend a phone for my mum and dad, I'd recommend iOS. But if you wanted a little bit more control, then I'd recommend Android. But for Mirai, it'll be mostly towards the iOS experience, which is like much more easier to use. So that's what we're aiming for. And I am working on establishing official authorized dealers and service centers around the world. So once the robotic versions are ready, if there's something wrong, you just take it to a service center, you can replace the arm or whatever. So we won't be making servos to replace just a servo over here. We make the whole arm basically. So the whole arm just put it off and then you just plug it back in. So so that's how we're going to do it. I forgot what you asked just now. I keep forgetting the questions. I'm getting involved. What did you ask me just now?
Oh, if you were just going to make it easy for
Yes,
the
yes.
entire family to use.
Yes. The iOS route. Yeah.
For the guy,
Yes.
for the guys who like to tinker around with their gear, are you going to have like a way for them to upgrade their Mirai?
I haven't thought that far ahead. I think that for the first few models, the firmware will be upgradable. But I'm not too sure about the actual robotics because I think that even with this model of Mirai, there's lots of things I would improve. But if I carried on improving her, then there would be no product, basically. So I mean, again, if you have a look at the first iPhone and compare that to the iPhone right now, if Apple waited until now, then there would be no iPhone, basically. So I think the important thing is to get something out at that time that I feel is good enough for the masses. But at the same time, there are a few things which I'll improve about it. So I think that's going to be the same thing with the first version of the robotic version. It's going to be good enough at that time, but as technology advances, then we'll be able to upgrade her with whatever is out at that particular time.
A lot of people in Mexico want to meet you. Do you have any plans to go there?
Yes, I do want to. I think that my goal, one of my other goals, is to attend other events rather than just events which I've been attending up until now. So I've been focused on Anime Expo and AFA in Asia, but definitely do want to travel to other parts. I think one of the very difficult things about my my work at the moment is because I haven't had too much cash flow. So I bootstrapped my own company, and we've been working out of my house. I'd move out to a small apartment and then use my place as an office. And then, but with initial sales of SmartDoll, we have some cash flow. I can get an office immediately, a bigger office, and I can hire quite a few more bodies to fill up with. And once I have someone who can look after production, then that gives me more time to travel to more events around the world. So I definitely do it.
Being a gamer myself, video gaming takes a lot of my life. Do you have any plans to have her interact with video games to make the gaming experience a little bit more realistic?
Yeah. So because she is a computer, then she'll be able to play. She'll be able to play games. And one of my next goals is to. I'm actually working on a retro look and feel game. For iOS, for Android. Actually, at the moment, it's a tower defense-based game. It's a bit like Metal Slug Defense. If you played it, it's really good. And I want her to be able to play Metal Slug Defense. Our version of Metal Slug Defense with a human opponent, basically. So she'll sit there, and when you're losing, she'll laugh at you. And, really cool. One of the goals is to, I don't know if I mentioned it just now, in the future, when you go to anime events to meet industry folks, see concerts, I want you to go to an anime event and you can see dolls battling with each other, just like angelic Leia. So, so that's a vision. I definitely want to do that before I die. So I really love to see that. I don't know exactly how they'll be fighting with each other, but I think it'll be really cool. Okay, anything else?
You are an inspiration to a lot of people. How do you feel about that?
I just do. I don't know. I just do what I do. I think that one of the things I feel very strongly about is so when I was in school, I was bullied quite a lot, and I had my stuff set fire to, dragged through gravel, money taken off me, you name it, and this happened to me. And I think that in this day and age, lots of kids they commit suicide because of this bullying on and offline. And if I had the choice, I would develop a super robot who would go to school playgrounds and get rid of these bullies. And but I'd get in trouble for doing that. So the best thing I can do is offer advice to folks who are having these sort of problems. It's not just in schools; it's in society as well. There's salary men, salary women in companies. They have these problems basically, and all I can do is share my experiences and advices to these folks to help them stay strong basically. Because if they can't stay strong, then I just need to develop these robots to go to these playgrounds and get rid of these bullies basically. And it wouldn't be legal. I'll get in trouble basically. So I don't want to get in trouble. So the best thing I can do is offer my advice and experience. So that's all I mean.
Thank you.
Aside from Mirai, what other projects do you have going on?
At the moment, it's pretty much SmartDoll. I mean, this is my my life project, and the only regret I had was, I don't know whether it's a regret or not. So I'm 40 right now. No, I think 42 this year. It's nearly over. 42 years this year, and I wish I had much more longer length of lifespan left to do more with this technology. But I think one thing for me is to like live every day as much as I can and do as much as I can. I think that humans inherently are designed to conserve energy, and it's like lots of living beings. They're just like designed to like conserve energy. And what this means is that I think like lots of humans try to avoid hard work. And I think the definition of hard work is something that an effort of output or energy that exceeds what the human body tells you is enough, basically. So body tells you, your body's saying, oh, okay, this much is enough, and anything above that is like hard work. So you just tend to avoid that. But I think that just like computers and like phones, whatever, there's a way to overclock. You need to overclock yourself and to work, to do much more than you are capable of without killing yourself at the same time. And so that's one thing I'm doing like lots of research into. And I'm still in the research phase right now, so I haven't really gathered my thoughts about it. But I think that there's lots more potential on what we can do in our lives to like overclock our bodies without killing ourselves, so that we can like do much more in the very little time that we have left. So that's my project right now, learning more about overclocking and developing this brand of doll, which is already bigger than Barbie, and hopefully will be a big household brand in the future.
Kind of as a follow-on to that, do you see the robotics of Mirai being used in cybernetics in the future, or?
Cybernetics. What's your definition of cybernetics?
Basically, you take something mechanical and attach it to something biological.
Oh, okay. I haven't really thought that far. I did study some prosthetics when I was like designing the frame, things like that. And at that time, I felt that I really want to do something like for folks without limbs. I feel really bad when there's like someone who can't use their hand or whatever. And I think that if some technology here can like maybe won't be able to like, use the actual motors or whatever, but if some of the ideas can be used to relate to making prosthetic limbs or whatever, then I think that would be great as well.
Any things you would like to reveal to us about yourself, or any secrets?
Secrets.
Things that happened to you on your way here, or what do you think of us so far starting this year?
I fart a lot when I don't eat. But apart from that, I don't know. I think so. This is my fifth year. Anime Expo, and so Anime Expo is one of the most intense anime events ever. It really is, and I think that. I've been to like lots of anime events, but Anime Expo is like really intense. There's like lots of going on. I think that there is a certain amount of ambiguity into how some things are like operated at Anime Expo, like regarding like my schedule, whatever. But I think that's actually good. Because rather than like walking to an event and you know exactly what's going on, then like everything's like laid out for you, and that's not what life is about. Basically, it's more about life is about like not knowing what's ahead and walking into a situation and like learning to like deal with that situation and using the resources that you have at hand, basically. So that's how I see Anime Expo, and so I grow a lot each time I attend Anime Expo, and yeah, I love it. Okay. So if that's it, there you go. Okay.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Choo.